The old man just looks like.
Yeah, it reminds me of you.
Okay. Live by the Datenseki, die by the Datenseki.
Ooh.
Was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
Welcome back to the Hishaku Hideout, a weekly podcast where we talk about the latest chapter in everything Kagurabachi. I'm here with Dice.
Yo.
And today we're getting to chapter 117, but first I'd like to remind everybody to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and don't forget to join our Discord that we created not too long ago. The link will be in the description below. We appreciate everybody, and let's get started. Dice, what'd you think of this chapter?
Banger chapter. Banger lore drop.
Ooh, yeah, it's crazy.
Looks like we're getting right into it, right? In terms of the Seitai War.
Yeah, we have an Ikuto LARPer in the chapter. Let me stop that poor guy. Oh, no, yeah, the Mikaboshi reveal was nuts, 1,000 years, Heian era type shit,
Yeah, man, yeah. I do have to kind of give credit where credit is due, and not, because there was a lot of people talking about this, the note being written in Japanese, and I didn't really, I've said it a couple of times, like I wasn't really giving that too much importance, because in the world of sorcery, it could literally be anything, but it wasn't anything, like you just brought up these Mikaboshi. Right, that's what they're called, Mikaboshi. They're Japanese, right? They were Japanese who kind of ruled the land before the Soga clan drove them out into Chiba Prefecture, right? It's what it.
Yeah, and then located where basically where the island popped up is kind of that area, like that southeastern Japan or whatever they say.
Yeah, and so the Shikoku are basically descendants of this sorceress clan that used to rule all those years ago. And, we get this conversation with the professor who's kind of like, he's basically the one giving us this lore dump. We see that these guys had the power to command insects, right? Which we know exactly what that's a reference to. And they were also 6'6". It says 2 meters tall. I had to kind of like see what that was in feet.
Kobe Bryant. They got Kobe Bryant out there with us. Crazy. Yeah, and it's like the that old style art, I forget the name of it, so that specific style, the Mikaboshi and the Soga, Yukima Soga fighting the Mikaboshi guy.
Mm-hmm.
That you see the caterpillar, on his leg, like from the Magatsumi.
Yeah, true.
Which is crazy. It's like that the Magatsumi blade, it uses caterpillar, dragonfly, and we know they control insects. Yeah, they have infinite forms. Yeah, we're gonna see all kinds of shit. The moth, but it seems that Kunishige crafted the Magatsumi to, mirror the Mikaboshi, which is interesting, or that at least that's how it comes off in this chapter.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think, I think we can like really entertain the exact connection to the Magatsumi in a bit, because like that's definitely one interpretation. I think a lot of it can also have to do with Datenseki itself and the true realm, and I think there's like different directions Hokuzono can take in terms of what it is about the Magatsumi that kind of reflects that, whether it was by design from Kunishige or whether there's something more. I know we're kind of like brushing over a couple of things, so I do also want to like bring up the fact that there's this seems to have been just one guy who fought these guys up close. He's the one who says they were Japanese, and before that, in the first page, we find out that the only interactions between the Japanese and the Shikoku had been those skirmishes in Irishima. Even during those altercations, like direct engagement was avoided. and everything about them kind of remains shrouded in mystery. And that's exactly when we jump into, this kind of background information provided by the professor. And, we know that the Shikoku basically, or the Mikaboshi, what they were able to do was basically build a whole civilization using Datenseki. And we also find out that Shikoku has 12 times the amount of Datenseki found in Japan. So it's basically kind of setting up and, painting the picture of, again, what exactly are these people, what their origins are, and what makes them so powerful in regards to not just the Datenseki, but also their history. And, we transition to the Irishima talks.
There's one thing that I do want to bring up, the whole point about the Magasumi being crafted after the Mikaboshi sorcery. The only reason why I think that would be more prevalent than, say, like Datenseki is because we see the Mikaboshi in that old style art piece where the Soga and Mikaboshi are fighting. That's before they used Datenseki, and they even have the caterpillar. So like that influence was before Datenseki was even like in the equation of their sorcery. But I mean, that's neither here nor there, because we really don't know exactly what all went to the crafting. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, this guy says, "Oh, I saw them up close. I could tell they were Asian." Is that kind of a microaggression?
No, let's not.
Let's not. Well, I guess he's Japanese, so it's all right.
Exactly. Let's not.
No, I'm playing. Yeah, but it is insane that like we had all this like advanced civilization talks. A lot of theories went into what exactly the Shikoku like origin is, and like it's kind of wild that Hokuzono just kind of went for a more direct approach, but like a good twist that no one saw coming. I didn't see any theories about it being a old sorcery clan, you know what I mean? So like that was kind of refreshing to have like something new added to the story, like another piece. And the fact that they use Datenseki, right? We know what happens when you touch the Datenseki. So I'm interested to see exactly how did they use the Datenseki to, advance as a clan and, create a new civilization from the ground up, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why like I'm not quick to rule out like the Datenseki, like I said, because there's still so much we don't know about the Datenseki, even kind of factoring in what we know now about the Mikaboshi, which, by the way, before we do get like carried away with this, I do also want to bring up, obviously, first page of the chapter is Chiaki having this vision that the upcoming meeting will be extremely hostile. It is presented in a way where she seems to have seen an image of whether it's the royal family head or whatever, but it's the guy in the middle in that
I think
spread.
He's the head.
Yeah, in that spread that we see of the Shikoku pulling up. So yeah, it's also important to point that out, right? Like, she did see this coming. Shout. I had entertained the idea of like her interpretation of the vision being what kind of sets up this like paranoia on the Japanese side, and them potentially like triggering the war, because Chiaki could have interpreted what she saw in a way that wasn't. But it's pretty clear now that the Shikoku basically baited in the Japanese into like a false sense of security, by thinking that this was going to be diplomatic. And I mean, the Japanese seem to have been ready, right? Because we know who was kind of like on standby. But
one thing I want to bring up, the fact that they are the Mikaboshi, they're descendants from the Mikaboshi, they fought the Soga clan. I'm sure they're aware of the Soga princess. You know what I mean? Because they are originally a Japanese clan, they are aware of the Soga's princess and the ability to see the future, or like, the fragments of prophecy. And I'm assuming that we didn't get no like clarification. Maybe the Soga princess was like, came to be like in that when they first beat them, and that's how they beat them. And they didn't know exactly how they knew their plans or whatever back in the day. Maybe that could be true, but I'm thinking that they are aware of her. And I mean, the letter they sent, they even put the Mikaboshi logo on it. So they were like not even trying to hide it at that point. And you know, or that's how it seems. But one thing I want to bring up though about Chiaki that I really like, it says, it can predict time and place of an event, but not the number of casualties, specific damage, or any other impact. So she just sees the cause, you know, she just sees what happens, but not the aftermath. So that is really well done, and that's a good mechanic he put in there, because now we aren't sure if Mashiro is going to make it out that skirmish, or you know what I mean. We're not sure exactly who, or if one of those Soga fighters that we see later on is going to make it out of that skirmish.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, right? Because it also states that the prophecies allowed those in harm's way to evade death and alter the outcome of the event, like entirely. But yeah, that is a good point as well, what you bring up, because once the event kind of takes place, her visions kind of don't allow us to see how it pans out, which could kind of like be some subtle foreshadowing if she does get a vision of the malediction. So, you know, we should probably watch out for that as well. But when it comes to the Mikaboshi, there's so much to unpack, because, you know, especially what you say like about the Datenseki is true. Like, let's say that Datenseki, and it is the way it's presented here, like the Datenseki had kind of no place in this yet, but the Mikaboshi, and maybe it's just because they're, like I said, 6'6", you know, basically again 2 meters tall. It could be that that's what allowed them to like rule over Japan. But then again, how were the Soga clan able to drive them out,
defeat
right?
someone like that. You know, one thing I will say about that painting, it does like, it looks like he's breathing like black, like that black kind of smoke a little bit. I mean, it doesn't look exactly like the Datenseki, you know, the black energy that when you burn up your life force, but maybe their chemistry is different to where they can just, you know, use Datenseki. Well, it could just be a biological thing, you know.
Yes, I mean, and I'm glad you bring that up, because I do think that there's definitely more to, like, of course, there's more to Datenseki that we don't know, but I'm looking forward to, and hopefully it gets, the information is provided to us, and just how exactly the Datenseki comes to be, and what is it, the connection to the Mikaboshi, because we already see the connection, or at least it's hinted at, between the Mikaboshi and the Magatsumi, right? Which is the whole thing with the insects. But we also know about the Magatsumi is that it commands the dark power at all times. So it does make sense, and again, you know, it's kind of what you're alluding to now, that is also a connection to the Mikaboshi if they have the ability to command this dark power. Again, I don't know how that kind of translates to the Datenseki as a stone itself. We know that these, you know, there has to be some sort of, whether it's evolution or adaptation in terms of like throughout these 1,000 years to go from the Mikaboshi to the Shikoku, and again, how the Datenseki comes to be in those 1,000 years is something that I'm like really curious about, because I have a feeling that the Mikaboshi had some way to command, if it isn't the dark power, like something similar to that, right? If we're trying to draw like the comparisons to the Magatsumi and what that can tell us about these guys.
Well, you know, I just remembered, like, and this is, you know, the fact the Shikoku, like they say they are humans, but they can interact with the Datenseki. You know, they can use the Datenseki. Yeah. So it's been in front of us the whole time. I forgot about that. That's like literally because they show up, you know, and we see like they have that like cloak on them, you know, that. So it has to be that they're just, you know, built different, literally, to where they've always been able to use the Datenseki. So when they discovered it, it was, you know, they can apply that new technology and that new source of energy instantly. It's not like they need researchers, because inherently their bloodline can just interact with Datenseki. You know, that's one, you know, one thing that like I wonder if maybe the Mikaboshi, maybe, I don't know. I want to see when the Datenseki, like the first, like, I guess use of it, like when does it come into play for the Mikaboshi? You know, because that's one thing I'm just kind of like wondering about, because man, they just some about them just rubs me like wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it looks crazy. Like the way they depict them is like monstrous, obviously, but their little logo is like a kind of the caterpillar too, and a caterpillar head on the dude's forehead on that old art style for some reason kind of reminded me of the Hishaku logo a tiny bit.
Well, I mean, it is kind of in the shape of like I guess the similarity. The only similarity I can see is, you know, part of the Hishaku logo does seem like kind of two,
the part of the head.
Yeah, like the two moons. And it is kind of like swirled up again in a sort of like a similar pattern, you know, and it could be nothing, but yeah, I'm with you, Ty. You know, from like being able, like what we know about the Shikoku and now kind of connecting it to the Mikaboshi, it still doesn't tell us like where the Datenseki come from, right? Like, you know, we do know that Datenseki kind of roughly translates to like a heavenly stone or something along those lines. So whether this stone kind of, you know, fell from the skies or just kind of like just started naturally, you know, sprout. Like, I don't know. Like, it's still kind of.
Maybe the Mikaboshi head just knew about it, and that's how they came to power. Kind of like you were saying earlier. Maybe he was using a little bit of Datenseki back then, and that's why he's, you know, using that energy like that. But
yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's all stuff that's like just, you know, we're just taking wild ass guesses. Sure, there's some like theories that are more like consistent and make sense in the, you know, within the canon than others. But I mean, you just don't know until we really see how that all comes into play. But the fact that they have 12 times the amount that Japan has, and the fact that not only that, they're saying we also want Irishima. We want all the Datenseki that you've you know, basically stolen from us, and then we also want like a couple different prefectures so they can you know, manifest the Datenseki ore or veins like in the next millennium, the next 1,000 years or whatever. So they're trying to like make plans to establish themselves like in, you know, for the future too. They're not just looking to, you know, they're really like playing long game here, long term.
Yeah, so like let's kind of wind up just a bit, right? Like we know that the, you know, the Shikoku, the Japanese delegation arrived on Irishima in an ironclad ship that is called the Haruma, I think it is. Yeah, right.
The Harumi.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking for the name here, and anyways, yeah, something along those lines. And, you know, they see that the Shikoku are kind of nowhere in sight, and then that thing just blows up. But right before, like, the professor does say that perhaps the Datenseki is holy to them, and they don't want Japan to have it, right? So, like, again, you know, and I don't want to linger on this, right? But just, it's like the last kind of piece of, I don't even want to say evidence, but just like a last hint that whatever the Datenseki is, it potentially kind of links to these Mikaboshi, and that would make sense why the Shikoku would see it as holy, right? Especially considering that the Soga kind of drove their ancestors out of Japan, right? And
yo, it's Haruma, by the way, my bad.
Okay, Haruma, yeah. And so again, like similar to like how Shikoku was painted like as evil since early on, I can't help but imagine if like Hokuzono's doing the same thing here. And obviously we see the way that Shikoku pulls up, like they're definitely not nice guys, but we also know that leaders of a nation don't exactly represent the people. And so I'm keeping kind of like an open mind in regards to even if the Soga clan is painted as heroes for driving the Mikaboshi out, we don't know what kind of civilization they were in Japan. I mean, like you said, sure, they look like monsters, right? And maybe
their perspective on it.
Yeah, and maybe that's that. Like maybe Hokuzono isn't really, maybe like what you see is what you get, right? And these guys,
like the winner is the one who tells the history.
Correct. History is written by the victors. Exactly. Yeah. And so that's what I just want to allude to. Like maybe Shikoku just feels like they were wronged in the past, and now they're just not going to allow the same people that drove their ancestors out to also come and take the resources that have basically allowed them thrive since their ancestors were driven out, right? And so now to get like, you know, to what you were talking about, they blow up the Haruma and then they fucking, you know, they pull up in style, hella aura. You know, what you said could be the clan head, which really looks like it by, you know, by the way he's kind of in this hovering chair right in the middle. And
why he got baby feet?
Everybody's doing their best Ikato impression in this chapter.
Bro, look at him. That boy got infant feet. He dangling them like little. He's like dangling them and shit.
But it does
like,
look
bro.
like what's in the back. It could be like the ship they kind of came on. And so
if you
yeah,
notice, it's got water dripping off of it, so they definitely came from underwater.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know, that pull up is crazy. And so yeah, you know, they kill. They only leave one of the guys sent. They only leave one alive.
Crazy.
You know,
that might be the guy at the treaty signing. By the way, maybe that's the guy who was at the treaty signing.
Yeah, it could be. He, you know, could have grown out his mustache. It's very likely.
He's important enough to be there for the talks. You know what I mean? So it makes sense that he'd be there to sign the treaty.
Yeah, and you know, the guy that kind of sits down, he isn't like one of the guys that's standing next to the head. He just kind of like, we just see him sitting down. So I wonder if there's also like some teleportation shenanigans there, or what exactly is going on. But you know, he tells that one guy that we, you know, you said could be the guy from the treaty. He tells him to sit down. Yeah, and you know,
they half his guards. They just cut him in half and instantly.
Yeah, man.
Like they blow up the Haruma, and then they half those two dudes, which is, and then he's telling that dude, hey, take deep breaths, come sit down, we need you. Like, okay, like, yeah, sure. What the fuck? I'm gonna say no. Yeah, they definitely did a show of force. The entire thing was just a show of force. You know, like, yes. They're like, hey, we know that y'all know who we are now. So like now it's off the table. Like we're now getting up close. We're, you know, showing you that this ain't a game. You know, you get what we're implying here. And I, you know, like in our theory stream, I thought it was kind of weird that people thought Shiba wasn't going to be there for this, considering just like how he's viewed in terms of power and like, you know, just how like the you know, just taking extra precautions. And I mean, obviously that's the case because we see him, he must have teleported them off the ship, obviously, Hiroto Soga, Yoshinojo Soga, and then Mashiro, which, by the way, Mashiro now we know is a demon. Yeah, but look at his face. Mashiro is there, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I like Mashiro's pull-up. He looks serious. You know, he's not like that little brother like energy. He's like, it looks like they about to brawl, and we're not gonna get to see it, I imagine, but this shit was crazy. That pull-up is insane, man.
Yeah, they almost went aura for aura in terms of pull-ups because, yeah, the Shikoku kind of pulled up with hella aura, and then these guys set, like, bet and, like, rolled up their sleeves. You know, like you brought up earlier, like, the Shikoku, they start making some crazy demands. And, again, Shiba's, like, the way Hokazono depicts Shiba's teleportation, which is, like, he isn't, and then he's there. You know, when the guy kind of puts his hands on, whether it's the demands or, like, the note that they have, the letter that they had originally sent. I love how you can see like Shiba's hand in right in the next panel. And like you said, we got, you know, it's Shiba, Mashiro, and the two Soga. So yeah, I was one of the guys that like, I was kind of like on the fence of whether Shiba would be sent or not. And I definitely feel stupid for suggesting that, you know, he potentially wouldn't be. Because, like, yeah, it's like you said, like, his reputation, aside of, like, his behavior, right? But more so, like, the work he's done seems to speak for itself. And I agree with you, the way Mashiro... Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, brother. Now you go.
No, I was just going to say, I agree with the way, like, Mashiro looks. And the fact that it's those two guys next to, like, two Soga, you know? Two guys from the Soga clan is, like, it lets you know right there, like, the caliber of combatants that we're dealing with. So, you know, you're definitely cooking with that.
Yeah, and like I think they say they were the smallest yet strongest squad selected by the Sorcery Bureau for the mission. So Mashiro's got fucking he dude's a demon. And I'm wondering if that's like Big Brother Soga and Papa Soga. That's what I'm thinking. You know, like that would, or cousin, you know, I mean it's a clan, so you never know, you know how like they could be related kind of. But let's get into talks of the guys, the Mikaboshi or the Shikoku delegate that's sitting down automatically. Is that Hishaku? He has like things on his eyes. He gives Hishaku energy off to me a little bit. You know, he has his hands covered. Like it'd be crazy if he already had the Hishaku logo on his hand. You know, like I know people think it's kind of like a straightforward reveal, but I think it would be very Hokuzono if that's just Hishaku right there. Because Shiba's never seen Hishaku in present time either, to like be able to say like, oh, he looks familiar.
Hey, that's not crazy. That's not crazy to think. I know this is gonna be like a very kind of stupid or pretty much baseless comparison, but how many guys have we seen in Kagurabachi sit with their legs crossed like that?
I don't pay attention to men crossing their legs, Dice.
Okay, buddy. Well, anyways, Hishaku is one of the guys that has seemed to sit like that. Again, I don't remember if the meeting that Shiba interrupted in the first chapter of the Seitei War arc, there could have been already somebody sitting like that. Like, it's a very normal way.
We're about to notice everybody sits like that just because you said it. Like,
yeah, we're about to like do the fucking city scaling or whatever.
Sit scaling. All right, we're seat scaling.
No, but again, like you said, that it could be very Hokuzono. I think it's very Hokuzono to also like give a very, very subtle hint like that. And again, if you want to pair this with like the pine tree that, you know, is right there, it's not crazy. All I'm going to say, it's not crazy to think. I'm not sure if I'm there yet because the markings in his eyes are a bit different, but that's still like, you know, the same with like his face structure, but it's been 18 years. So like these things that we're like naming, they're not too kind of convincing. And even like the same thing, like again, about like the way he's sitting, right?
Let me just say real quick. They got motherfuckers out there that think Mashiro is that big ass dude in the Kabunabi. If they say that, like, oh no, that can't be Hishaku, look at his face structure, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'd be like, you think Mashiro turns into that dude, but he can't be Hishaku?
No, hey, that's a very good point. And hey, like, I don't think it's crazy to think that's Hishaku at all. I think him being Hishaku is more likely than that Mashiro being the Kamunabi guy. But bro, they could both be wrong. Honestly, they could. Yeah, facts. You know.
I'm like, when it comes to like guessing and predictions and theories, I'm like 1 for 38. All right, so hey.
Yeah, I don't even think I have that one. I mean, maybe I do. I don't keep count. I mean, if I got them right,
Azami
you knew.
Azami was in the last chapter, bro.
Oh, yeah, okay, so I guess I'm 1 for...
1 for 37.
Yeah, let's go. But that's a good one. I'll be honest, I didn't, and, you know, I had some IRL stuff, and, like, I kind of had to rush through this chapter a bit. But I didn't really even consider that being Hishaku when I read it. Like, it didn't really cross my mind, but now that you mention it, it's like, oh, yeah, that's totally plausible. And he is in that age, and you know how Hishaku looks in present day, where like it's totally plausible that this is a younger Hishaku. The age gap would kind of make sense. So
he's got the weird eyes. You know, like you never know. Yeah. Like we don't know what's about to happen in this little fight either. We don't know who's gonna come out of it. We don't know how many of these like people from Shikoku's gonna die, if any. We don't know if any of our guys are going to die. Obviously, we know Shiba's still alive, unfortunately. I'm just playing. I've been glazing Shiba a bit too much lately. I had to, like...
Get ready ready for that apology form, buddy. You start getting that pen and paper,
I told you. I'm not signing it yet, but I told you I at least took it out the drawer and I put my name on at the top. I at least prepared it because I see it. I see the vision. And I'll do it live on stream. But hey, there will be backhanded compliments throughout that stream of Shiba still. But No,
Ugh.
it took 2 minutes, bro. This meeting lasted 2 minutes before I got to throwing hands. That's so funny.
Well, we also know that it says, thus the battle on Irishima began. So there's gonna be fighting. Like they're not gonna talk this out. You know, like there's gonna be fighting next chapter.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if we're gonna see it. I think they might just skip it, kind of.
Oh yeah, that's a good
like,
point.
To after like we just see them going back, you know, to like the Soga clan or like the Sorcery Borough and talking about what happened.
Shiba's got Mashiro's corpse in his arms.
Oh my god. I did not expect that from you. That's fucking like poor Mashiro.
I fuck with him.
Yeah, where's Joji's at? Where's Joji and the strongest gripper at?
Yo, that's how you know they're not built like that, man. That's crazy. I thought Joji was for sure gonna be here.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, you know, that's the thing with Shiba, that he also gives you a lot of utility and fight to prepare your forces way the fuck away without having to put them anywhere near the battle, because Shiba could just pop over and bring them right back. You know, like he could like bring that delegate that's on the couch with him, and those three can handle themselves, I'm sure, for 2 minutes, and then bring him there and then pull back up with Joji. You know what I mean? And then it's an equal fight damn near in terms of numbers, but I think they got 6 total.
Yeah, Shikoku seems to have the upper hand here in terms of the forces that they brought. I mean,
that old guy might not be able to fight, so it might just be those 4 like elite guards that he has with do-rags around him. Datenseki do-rags is crazy, by the way. I wonder if the guy sitting down is his son. Like, that's the prince.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I would be 2 for 37 if that's the case, because I said if that's Hishaku, because I said Hishaku could very likely be the heir to the, you know, within the royal family. So hey, fingers
you know what?
crossed.
I don't want that to be true. You cannot get more than me. Me and Dice, we first one to get 5 theories right out of the whole run wins. Difficulty impossible.
Oh man. But yeah, I know we kind of like basically sped run through this through everything that we get in this chapter. You know, maybe there's some things that we kind of overlooked in terms of what's provided to us. But you know, like you kind of alluded to, where do you think we, and you know, there's still kind of like some conversation left to be had, but where do you think this goes? Because to me, this marks the beginning of the Seitei War.
Yeah, this is like the inciting incident that started it. Because I mean, they came there with like crazy ass demands, knowing that like they're ready to start the war basically, and this is how they did their show of force. They tried to strong arm them into like bending to their will. You know, like at this point, you know, we don't know how much information they have on current Japan and their sorcerers. You know what I mean? We don't know if they have like a spy, because they are Japanese, right? So if they sent like a normal person to, you know, like go spy on Japan, I would think it's pretty easy to do, because these guys aren't 6'6". Like if you look at the elite guard around like the guy sitting down, there's a homie that's almost as tall as the old dude, and the old dude sitting down in a chair. Like, you know, so they're not like these like titans, excuse me. They could easily blend into Japanese culture by the way they look. So we don't know exactly what information they have on the present day Soga clan and the other sorcerers. Maybe they didn't expect for Shiba and Mashiro and these 2 Soga guys to, you know, pull up and be able to, you know, hold them off. So, but with Datenseki and the amount that they have, you know, like we talked about a couple different times now, they went in there knowing that they had the upper hand, and that was evident throughout the war until the Enchanted Blades came to play. And it's funny that, you know, the Datenseki that they stole, they do have a decent bit, you know, because they won it back. If it was just a little bit, I don't think they, you know, but you know, it's going to be funny that the reason why they lost is because of the Datenseki, which is a thing that rebuilt their civilization. You know, like live by the Datenseki, die by the Datenseki.
Ooh, Hey, that's kind of cold.
Did I just cook? Oh my god! Wait, hold on. My chair's on fire. Oh my god, it's heating up in here.
Okay, chill, buddy, chill. Let me not.
I'm about to go 1 for 39. Let me stop.
But to what you're saying, I mean, look at that last spread. Dude isn't tripping.
Yeah, he's legs crossed still. He got his pinky out though. I wonder if he's like about to like start like enact sorcery or some shit.
Yeah, he's about to bang, a hole right through Mashiro's chest.
Yeah. He's about to grow a tree branch out in Mashiro's face.
Oh man, but
he really is pointing right at that boy too. He's like, fuck.
Oh man, no, but yeah, I think regardless, like these guys don't look like they're sweating. And hey, in that last double spread, like he's the only guy from Shikoku kind of across the good guys, right? The two Soga clan members are like on the other side, on each side of like the table, and then it's Shiba and Mashiro protecting the one of the guys that was sent. And yeah, we know that they're the other forces, along with what presumably the head, they are kind of like right by them. But I wouldn't be surprised if this guy takes all 4 of them solo, bro. And if let's say you are right, yeah, well, I mean, hey, I think this is where we're really gonna.
That would be insane. I'm not saying like you're wild for saying that, but that would just be crazy to see.
Yeah, because like the other guys next to the head, it looks like they're more so there to like protect like the head. They could kind of like go on the offensive, but I have a feeling that Hokazono could really put like a big exclamation mark on how powerful these Shikoku guys are. And yeah, let's say this is the prince, right? Like it would also make sense to like set him up, especially if it's Hishaku, as like prop him up and show us like, yeah, this is what one of them alone can do. And again, none of these guys are wielding enchanted blades, so let's say that we do kind of just jump to after this fight, which I do think we'll get a little bit. But regardless if we do or we don't, I think it's going to be like a big message to see these guys take on what is the strongest, even if it's the smallest force, right, that were sent on this mission. And if only Shiba returns, that would be pretty badass. And again, it would really start to like add to Shiba's character in terms of why, even though he is already among the strongest in Japan, or at least in the Sorcery Bureau at this time, it also makes sense why kind of Shiba is who he is by present day, right? Because he's experienced these guys up close, and he had to get stronger and yada yada yada. But I just think it would be pretty fucking badass if this guy just takes on 2 of the Soga, just basically washes these guys, and only Shiba survives, and he's basically the one who goes back and tells the guys over at the Sorcery Bureau, like, these guys mean business, like they're no pushover. We don't even know if that guy's wielding Datenseki right now. I mean, hey, maybe he has it like right there in his right arm, like you said, he's kind of covering that right arm of his, so maybe he is wielding Datenseki, which would also be like a crazy reveal if we see him, like he shows that
maybe
he's
he put the crack in his crack.
Okay, buddy.
That Lil Wayne lyric.
Okay, buddy.
Oh, I put the crack in my crack.
But yeah, I think we're gonna see some crazy shit. And again, I'm not going on much of a limb here.
Speaking of limb,
oh god,
homie, never mind. Let me stop.
Stop.
No, I wanted to say like the Soga that did pull up those 2, they could be like Chiaki's guards. That could be the head royal guard, and the second in command of the royal guard that guards the Soga princess.
Well, I guess she's about to have no guards. That would be a dumbass decision, let me just say.
If they need to bring their strongest force, like, because I'm thinking that either they're like directly related, like a direct family connection, like Chiaki's dad and older brother, or like cousin, then I could see them not being in the royal guard. But if they just are the strongest fighters in the Soga clan, hold up 1 second. My bad. We're gonna see the Mario movie. I had to push it back a little bit.
It's all good. We're about done here.
Yeah, but no, we're good. the one thing I do want to bring up, and this is kind of I know this is a touchy subject, and I'm not saying this is the case, and I'm not justifying either way. If they are a clan that was pushed back, it's been 1,000 years, so that means the people that restarted their civilization did it with the goal to rebuild their civilization with like Japan as a opposition, an antagonistic force of theirs. Now, we know what Akamura Soga did, and I'm not justifying what he did. The only way I could see Hokuzono spinning this in a situation to try and like relieve a bit of like Soga's people's view of him would be if like there's like the indoctrination has set in for like Shikoku over the 1,000 years that they instilled over like all their descendants, like the Japanese are bad, Japan's the enemy, you know what I mean? That might not be the case. I don't know if Hokuzono's gonna go that deep into it, but I just want people to like kind of remember that just because the royal family feels a certain way, like you mentioned this earlier, that doesn't speak for everyone. The people that don't have a voice, did they really deserve what happened, type of thing. So I just want people to like keep in mind that like when you're in the comment section and things like that, try not to get too edgy about it. You know what I mean? Like, because it can definitely those talks can definitely turn sideways quick.
I mean, yeah, I expect to see some of that for sure. And I mean, hey, to what you're saying, that's already how Soga spins it, or I don't know if spins it is the right word, but that's already like what he claims. He
painted them with a brush. Yeah, he painted them with a wide brush, like they're all this way, but we don't know if that's true or not. And that's just a very touchy subject. I just like, I know I joke a lot, but like that's one thing that I really don't want to see in the comment section of people kind of like going real edgy with it. You know what I mean? Because the world is so evil, and the last thing I want is like people bringing manga like talks about real life shit.
I mean, I definitely I agree with what you're saying for sure, but it's pretty much inevitable. I mean, we were already seeing the Soga was right comments, and so it is, some people just meme, and sometimes other people like really believe it, but we were already seeing that, and we're definitely going to see more of it.
Yeah, now this is going to enhance those talks even more, because they had people justifying it before this, and now this is how they pull up instantly their first showing of like the Shikoku people, and this is what they do on their first like reveal. So I mean, I get it, but I'm just trying to like limit the amount of edginess, because sometimes that shit's just cringy, and I just hate to see that shit. People go too deep on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see how the conversations on this chapter kind of go for the next week. We'll also have to wait and see what exactly Hokuzono, which is something I've been saying since like day one, since the Shikoku were introduced, or at least since we started kind of getting little tidbits on who they are as people, is what does Hokuzono have to say? Like, does he have something meaningful to say in regards to these people, and how this sort of attitude of kind of fighting fire with fire? Like, I'm very interested to see if there is going to be some nuance to the conversation, or if like Hokuzono has something that he wants to say as an author. And yeah, we'll have to continue to look out for that, because he's certainly portraying the Shikoku in a certain way. Two wrongs don't make a right? Like, and again, I don't want to kind of go too much on like this whole moral thing, because everybody has like their way to view things, and that's that. That's not what I'm here to do. But
it's touchy, but it's just something that like you said, it is inevitable that those talks are going to be had. But me and you are here, and we're trying to build a community, like a true community, and it's okay to meme and joke, but there's definitely, just try and, people need to remember that not everyone, takes jokes the same way that you might, or this, that, or the other. I would, that's just something, I want to bring up.
Oh, I get it, man.
I mean, hey, look at me. I'm over here. I be talking about Ikuto not having legs all the time, and that poor bastard. So I get it. I make jokes too.
Cook him, chat. Cook his ass.
Yeah, I'm not gonna judge nobody, but I also, gonna try and limit the bullshit.
I will.
Yeah, yeah. Dice does judge me. You know what, Dice? I actually seen Dice for the first time a little bit, and Dice looked like that old man from Shikoku. He had the same feet and all. He was dangling his little toes. Yo, shout out to Sofa Zono, by the way. We really see like his like when he went to school to go like furniture design.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, serious. That's what he was in college. That's what he was doing originally.
Okay,
furniture design.
That. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, that comes
and
across.
You see that motherfucker? He had that Victorian style couches.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, hey, if that's true, like, I can see it. Like, it definitely comes across.
Why don't you believe me, bro?
I believe
He's
you.
Like, if it's true. If it's true. Wait, the source, trust Tiberius, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Basically.
Y'all see this chat?
Oh, no, man. But again, yeah, I just, at this point, like, again, not to, like, repeat myself, but we'll have to see how Hokuzono continues to paint the Shikoku, because kind of like to what we're speaking about, we already see how, like, civilians from Shikoku who were, like, stated to be, like, humans, right? Like, they were people just like the Japanese, just like everybody else, how they also had to, like, suffer from what presumably the royal family's actions kind of brought upon their whole nation, right? And what Soga did. So I'm very interested to see, like, not just how he paints them, like, by the end of the story, but how he progressively kind of, like, goes about, portraying these people. And again, I extend that to the Mikaboshi, because we don't know anything about, like, how did they rule, right? We only know that, like you said, they're portrayed as monsters and that the Soga clan drove them out. And hey, we can take that at face value, and like I said, what you're seeing is what you get. I don't necessarily expect Hokuzono to flesh out the Mikaboshi, but when it comes to the Shikoku, off the back of that, I do definitely expect there to be a bit more to who they are as people. And hey, if that's not what he does and they're just evil, then what I'm looking forward to is, like, okay, what are you trying to do with that, right? And again, the answer to both could just be, like, nothing. They're just bad guys, and like, which I will admit, it would be a bit disappointing, but I'm also not trying to kind of set myself up to be disappointed, so I'm just kind of taking it chapter by chapter. If this prince or guy, whatever he is, if this is Hishaku, we will see his motivations kind of fleshed out also in present day of how he felt back, with whatever happens to, I mean, obviously we know what happens to Shikoku, but like how the royal family is defeated. We'll have to see how he feels about that, and then what exactly is his motivation going forward. What's not really driving him, but what does he plan to achieve then in Japan? Because again, we know that Yura and Soga, they wanted to bring order to Japan, but if this guy is from Shikoku, and by this guy I mean Hishaku, then I don't think he wants to bring order to Japan, rather the opposite, just chaos. Does he want to kind of, or does he want to rebuild Shikoku within Japan, kind of like reclaim, and oh god, this is, reclaim their land. So
this land is your land. This land is my land.
Oh man, man, we'll see what Hokuzono is doing here. Like you said, there's definitely some parallels to real life, and I'm just kind of really looking forward to, again, what is it that he's trying to say.
All right, now listen here, you fraud.
Huh?
Say, yeah, I'm calling you a fraud because you don't trust me. And his editor did an interview about
Ty, you didn't have to do this. Ty,
I did it. Hokuzono used to be an art student and majored in product design and created furniture and chairs. He always liked drawing but didn't draw much in college. The pandemic pushed him to pursue his dreams to become a mangaka, and he quit university in his second year. Hey, Dice, eat my ass from the front.
Okay, so you did it. So that's what we're doing. Okay.
And I'm saying on business, I'm going to remind you about you not trusting me for millennia. Chat, you see this? We've been doing this for a year and a couple months, and bro still don't trust me.
Come on, Tiberius. Let
you hurt my feelings, bro.
I can see that. I can see that.
You're my Hishaku. That's what this is.
Oh, I can see that. Oh man!
Look at Dice sitting on a chair, crossing his legs with black fingernail polish.
Oh man! No, Tiberius. Never failed to surprise me. Never failed.
Sofazono cooked with those couches, though, bro, and that chair, that table. I mean, he did that.
I'm just, now I'm gonna stand on business. I still don't believe you. I think you just pulled that out of your ass right now.
Yep, just like fucking Subaru. Ass so fat, thought it was a storehouse.
Oh, buddy.
But I guess that's it. I hate Dice more now. I was starting to like Dice, but now you don't trust me. And if Dice don't trust you, if I used to say if Dice don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. But
you gonna shoot me now, right? Is that how
I'm gonna shoot myself now because you don't trust me.
Let me not say anything.
What you about to say, bro?
Let me not.
You really are Mikaboshi, bro.
Is there hey, just wait till they get fleshed out and it turns out that they were the good ones. Just wait on it.
The entire time they were saints.
Oh, no, but I'm curious to see like where people are standing on this chapter, on this lore drop. What do they feel about the Shikoku, the Mikaboshi, the relation to Datenseki? What do you kind of like, and not you, because I don't care about what you have to say, but the people
what
again.
What the fuck? All right, bet. Let Dice know in the chat what y'all think. I'm gonna just sit here.
Now we just went full hostile.
Cross my legs and chill. Yeah. The talks our Hishaku Hideout talks have gone south. Violent. They turned violent. 40-something minutes in the. It took us 52 minutes where it took them 2 minutes to start fighting.
The talks dissolved to a preemptive strike by Dice.
By Dice. By Dice the dick sucker. How about that?
Oh, no, not...
Yeah,
no.
That's right.
But yeah, I guess like, because I don't know where I stand on this yet, but like I do wonder what people, if they have any theories on like what exactly Hokuzono is kind of like leading up to when it comes to the Shikoku. Like, do people kind of feel that there's some like AOT type commentary going on here, or if this is going to be a lot more shallow and not really be much of this sort of thing that we're talking about. I am wondering where people are standing on that, because I don't know myself where I am when it comes to that yet.
I'm wondering, are they gonna have to fight that fucking thing behind them, the Shikoku people, or is that just a boat, like their ship?
Or you think it's gonna start like shooting lasers or some shit?
Who knows? At this point, that motherfucker like destroyed. That has to be. I'm thinking that's the thing that might have destroyed their boat. Like it looks like it's dripping water, like it came from under the water.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But then I also realized the panel before that thing appears, the Shikoku guy, the 5 of them are already on the shore, and that thing isn't behind them. That thing comes up behind them while they're already there. So that thing came out of the water, but where the fuck they came from? Were they in that and they just like teleported? The Hishaku logo, the Hishaku mark on the hand that allows the Hishaku to teleport. So I don't know. That might be a Shikoku sorcery thing.
Yeah, I mean, almost for sure, right? Like, I agree with that.
Yeah, at this point. And I mean, like, it's gonna be fun to see how this plays out. I actually really, really, really like. I mean, Hokuzono cooked with the character designs this chapter, and the sofa design, but mostly the character designs.
So you're still,
bro. I might be shopping for a new couch soon. I might hit him up.
Oh my god.
then we see like the 4 do-rag guards, the do-rag Datski guards, the old man. The old man just looks like an asshole.
Yeah, it reminds me of you.
Okay.
Let me stop.
This dude, look, bro. I've been waiting for this dude to like get on recording, and he's been abusing me. He got it on with like a certain type of energy, bro.
I'm just gonna say you started it. I don't even know like what I'm basing that on, but you started it.
Look, now look at this. We got oh my god, talking about revision history right there.
Revisionist, by the way.
Yeah, I'm stupid.
I love you, Timmy. We're just messing. This is some friendly banter.
No, I'm gonna chainsaw man and eat myself. I swear to God.
Oh man.
All I know is I got stocks on my boy Hiroto Soga. We know the Soga clan ain't around in the present time. At least that's what it seems like. So they most likely cook, but that's my guy right now.
Put all your stocks on that guy. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Hey, I mean, look, I got stocks on Ibiki, and that motherfucker ain't been alive. he wasn't even alive in chapter 1, or he was alive in chapter 1. We just didn't see him.
Oh man.
Well,
Good
this
chapter.
was a fun talk, I guess. I got slandered a bunch.
Yeah, that's one
I don't
word.
know how to feel about that. I don't think. You know what? Because
It's
of
all
Dice,
love.
I'm not gonna bring my daughter to the movies because of Dice. And
No, let's see. Okay, that's not what we're doing. No, that's not what we're doing. We're not doing that.
I'm indoctrinating her to hate you. That's what we're doing.
Oh my God, Tiberius. Okay, I think it's about time we wrap this up.
I bet. I'm just starting now. But no, this was a dope chapter. Getting back on track. The talks are gonna go a bunch of different ways. It's gonna be crazy to see. We have a new chapter next week. Like I said, we will have a theory stream. Sometime in the middle of the week, most likely, because me and Dice actually have jobs. We don't know until like
don't subtweet don't subtweet our listeners like that.
I always do that, bro. So y'all know I'm just being y'all know I'm just being flippant.
Cook his ass, Chad. He throwing shade at y'all.
Hey, Chad.
Cook him
I be the one replying to y'all comments, bro. Show me love. Fuck Dice.
No, I appreciate and we probably should have said this.
Dice does talk to Dice does reply to comments. I'm just messing.
No, I also wanted to shout out the members, which we probably should have done up top. Remember to join the Discord. Fun chats over there, fun talk.
Yeah, and if you're a member, you get the role of Sojo's bath buddy.
Yes, and we're also going to be pumping up some Jesus, I can't talk. Some members only content, which we did our first video, which was the Soga's, our interpretation of
round table.
Yes, what Soga's Kamunabi could be. So if you become a member, you'll be able to check that out. We will be alternating between like members first content and members only content. But we do definitely want to provide members with some extra content, and we'll keep doing these weekly podcasts as usual with every chapter that drops. But we're trying to pump
we
out
have the
more
Redux Volume 2 dropping probably in a week or so.
Yes.
That will be members get that a week early. Yep. We're going back and reviewing the volumes of Kagurabachi, one volume at a time. Yep. So check that out. And then I'll see y'all for the stream. Peace.